Have you ever wondered if you can identify who is someone dealing with addiction and who is someone who is not? Sometimes it's very hard to tell. And our guest today, if you met him on the street, you wouldn't ever think that he's dealing with addiction, would you?
No.
Oh,
You speak too well.
yes. So, welcome to another edition of Odyssey House Journals. I'm Randall Carlisle, your host. Nicole Slack is our co-host. And Trayvon is the guy that you could run into on the street and not say, he is dealing with addiction. Is that good or bad?
I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
At least it's not outwardly super obvious, but then inwardly, like it's also, I guess I don't have the red flags to get help at the right time when I'm going through things because everything looks all nice and well put together.
Very, very good point.
Blessing and a curse.
Yeah. I mean, that was me when I was on TV, that nobody would have known that I was a functional alcoholic. So.
Everyone knew it was me. I was.
You were a
yes.
sloppy drunk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't have the grace you two have.
Yeah, well. So, Trayvon, welcome. I'm glad you came. And one thing I've noticed in meetings that I've been with you in is you are an extremely good speaker. I've heard other people say you could be a preacher. You could sell snake oil. Those kinds of things, and those are meant as a compliment because you do speak so well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. How did you learn to speak so well?
I've worked in communications the last 10 years, mostly call center, customer service, client relations, and I was also training in healthcare. And so I spent a lot of my time not only just speaking, but teaching other people how to communicate empathetically, also how to explain something complicated in a certain amount of time, and also a lot of scripting. So I just learned a lot of verbiage that I can chunk into one delivery. And so I taught this, I lived it, and I did it over and over and over and over again until it became ingrained in how I am.
That's interesting. So you could be a preacher. Can I hear you say hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
See, but I've dealt with addiction. Can you talk about that?
So I hit my addiction hardest when I moved out here a couple of years ago. I started using because I went over to hang out with a friend, and then he took me over to his friend's house, and they started using together. And my first mind was that I would never be addicted to meth. I never would. I don't have addictive personality. So this sort of natural bravado and sort of strong will, or this idea that I had strong will. And I started using it. I really liked it. I felt I enjoyed the feeling, the euphoria, and then the lack of inhibitions and the staying up for days at a time and the energy. And so I had all these, and it just like, it made things very fascinating. And so I found myself drawn into this new world of having all these new hyper intensified feelings. And it became addicting in that I like to just be like that all day, all the time. And so I just started using with other people, found other people that are using. They're always doing something peculiar, obscure. And so I was also attracted to the darkness that it led me to, in the dark places and doing wild and crazy things. And so I saw it like treatment in California. I went to a program called Teen Challenge. And I went through that treatment. That program was super hard, and it was very long. I only did 7 months of it. But after, I still had that sort of that want for that euphoria, for the feel-good, for the dopamine, for the serotonin, for the endorphins. And so I just wanted all these pleasure chemicals to just run rampant through my body again. And so I have constantly had to go back and forth with fighting the want to be saturated and feel good instead of but also sacrificing my ability to be to maintain my life and be functioning.
That's a tough challenge because you make it sound like when you describe the feelings from meth, you make it sound very desirable. You know.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. It's weird to use, no matter how you use it. But it comes with a down, like it brings you super high up. It hyper intensifies your feelings, but then it's kind of like you're a rubber band. You get stretched super thin, and then you come back and it's not the exact same size. And so you're exhausted, you're depleted, you're drained, and you focused all your energy and your motion. I'm sorry, your energy and your emotions in the wrong direction. And so, like, I missed out on being a part of a lot of people's lives. I missed out on participating in a lot of events and organizations. I missed out on doing a lot of hobbies and recreation, and I lost jobs because of it. And so it sucks that it takes you away from what you should be doing. So although it might feel good at the time, it's like too much of a good thing.
I like the rubber band
Analogy.
You stretch it out, but it's not the same when you let it go. You said you were in a youth program in California, right?
Teen Challenge, they take adults too. I was like 27, I believe, or 28.
Oh, okay. All right. So when did you start? You said when you moved out here, but you obviously were doing some stuff in California too.
So when I was in California, I was just a kid. I was born there, and then I moved to Las Vegas, and I lived in Las Vegas most of my adulthood. But I did use ecstasy, recreation, or like when I'd go out, I did drink a lot. But it wasn't something that really depleted from my life too much. I did use ecstasy like a couple times a month. But what really devastated me and brought me to addiction was when I was about 28, I moved out here with my mom and my brother, my sister, and I started hanging out with people that were using meth. And that was where my real addiction really started, in that I just became obsessed with it. And so from 28 until now 34, I've had ups and downs of going to programs. I've even been to Salvation Army in Las Vegas. I've been to Salvation Army in California. And so I've had these moments where I've gone to program and then I've relapsed, or I've had moments or periods of sobriety and I've relapsed. And it's always been going back to methamphetamines after I open that door.
So it's basic. So the worst part has been a 6-year on and off battle.
Exactly.
Okay. And how did you come to Odyssey House?
So I was doing the Other Side Academy right after I got out of jail last year. I got out of jail and went there in November. And I did that for about 7 months or 6 months. No, about 7 months. And that part was pretty hard. So I left because I thought I could do better on my own. And then I relapsed right after leaving. And then I was just on the street outside because I tried to go over to my mom's house. She said I could no longer live with her just because of the bad rap that I was using there. And so she didn't want to enable me. And she just said I just can't live there anymore, which sucked because she told me I would always be able to have a room there if I ever needed. And so I was just living outside. And I went to the DWS office. And they had a paper of just to get support. And Odyssey House was one of the places that was listed as an option to getting out of my circumstances. And so I called them and I had a bed available, and that's what led me to Odyssey House.
You bring up an interesting comment because of the fact that you well know that I facilitate a family support group of people who have addicted loved ones. And one of the issues that they deal with all the time is setting a boundary of saying, you can't live in my house anymore. And I'm hearing you say it hurt you when she said that, right? But in the end, isn't that a positive thing? Because it did get you into a treatment program.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't want it to, I wouldn't want to cause any drama or stress for my mom. I never have. It was just a shock because it's never happened before. We never really, I guess we kind of had the conversation, but we never really had the conversation about it. But for me, it did hurt, but it wasn't the end of the world. I was just going to have to figure it out. And I've had to do that before. And so for me, I feel like the boundary was necessary, and that it's keeping me out of depreciating my family's life. And it forces me to find other endeavors, which I was going to figure it out. That's why I was going to DWS. I was researching programs. I just had to figure out what was going to work for me and what is going to have availability. And that's what led me to Odyssey House.
So how's it been so far?
Odyssey House has been pretty good. I'm just trying to like move to sober living now. I'm just trying to like end my program very well. And so this is like the end of it for me for Odyssey House in residence. And so I'm just trying to like get back in control. My main focus is I really just want to start working again. I feel like once I have financial support, I'll be able to realign myself with the feeling of self-worth and independence. And that's what I really, really am hoping for right now is to get my independence back. And so that's the next step.
What have you ever figured out why what it is that caused you to seek that huge high? I mean, obviously, like, okay, we ride roller coasters because it's a thrill and that kind of stuff, but we couldn't ride roller coasters all the time. What is it that prompted you to desire that huge high?
So I feel I've acknowledged this from going through so many different programs and speaking to so many therapists and being part of so many groups. It's just I had like I didn't really care about myself. I didn't feel like I have a lot of love or care for myself. I felt empty. I feel like it didn't matter, nothing mattered, and it just gave me something to feel. It gave me something that was I feel like euphoric and positive to feel because I didn't care about my life at all. I didn't care about spirituality. I didn't care about emotions. I didn't care about other people. I was just existing. And so I feel like it just gave me something that made me feel like I mattered. It made me feel like I was existing. And it gave me a rush that made me feel good, whereas I felt empty and nothing for a long time.
Do you know why? Why you felt empty and nothing?
I feel like I was searching for love in the wrong places and the wrong people, but honestly, I didn't have a lot of things to hold on to or to attach to. I feel like I didn't care about God. I didn't care about missing out in some people's lives. I didn't care about all the things that I was sacrificing because I feel like a lot of things didn't care about me. And so it was one of the things that continuously and consistently made me feel good. Whereas a lot of things there were disappointments. I just got used to just being disappointed to the point I didn't really care about my life at all.
We talk a lot in treatment about self-love. Have you had do you love yourself yet?
I love myself now. Mostly I find my purpose in God now. I didn't believe in God until very recently. And when I went to Teen Challenge, that's where they teach you about Jesus. And so that's where I found my reason for existing and purpose. But prior to that, I didn't really have anything. It was just like I was just walking forward, working or not working, doing what I'm supposed to do or not doing what I'm supposed to. And I was always trying to draw people in so that they can make me feel part of something because I really don't feel part of a lot of things.
When you get out, have you planned for future triggers when you're searching for that? I mean, you've experienced that extreme high with meth, and you can't experience that kind of high with probably anything else in life. I mean, you could be happy if you're on a scale of 1 to 10. If meth was a 10, you can be like a 6, 7, or 8 with other things in life, but you're never going to get to that 10 again. How are you going to stop thinking about getting to that 10 again?
I think having people that care and support me consistently and without failing or without giving up on me. I think people that will, like a genuine family or a genuine support, and I'm still searching for that. I feel like I live in a very transactional world where like once you're out of sight, it's like if you're an inconvenience, it's really not that important. So if I have people and things in my life that I genuinely love and receive love from, I think that would be my 10.
Okay. You seem to have done very well in the Odyssey program.
Thank you.
How, How have you gotten along with your peers, and how's everything worked out?
It's very good. It's very transactional. It's like if they need something, I help them. If they want to talk to me, I listen. I try to help them with whatever problems. I give them advice based on my experiences or what I know about the program. But it's hard to attach to people. I feel like sometimes it's like I feel like I'm walking around a room full of different characters or very different like silhouettes of people, and it's kind of like almost like the same person but a different body, or the same interaction but it's on repeat, or it's like a conversation that I feel like is forced or it's not genuine. And so it's hard for me to find like the true people that I'll keep and carry on forward. But I learned a lot of things from a lot of people that I feel is genuine and sincere. And I gain a lot of hope in the fact that I know that I have a future. And that's mostly what I'm gaining from Odyssey House, is it's giving me the opportunity to get all the things I need so that I can invest in a better future. But yeah, it's just trying to find the right kind of people that are going to be real people to me. And that's what I just have to kind of let time prove. Because a lot of people will tell you a lot of positive things, like they'll be there, or they'll do this, or they'll give you this, or they'll love you, or they support you. But then they betray you. And I've had a lot of experiences with a lot of disappointments in my life where things are just supposed to look very nice, or things are supposed to be painted a certain color. But in reality, it's not that at all. And so I have to just, this old saying of like, you got to get through the weeds to get to the flowers. Or prune the weeds to get to let the flowers grow, either or. And I just have to invest myself in good soil.
Sort of, I'm struck, and I may be wrong, that you sort of are negative about a whole bunch of things still.
I don't think so. I think it's just, it's not necessarily negative, but I can see what the reality of the circumstances are. And with the reality of the circumstances, I just don't want to look at it through rose-colored glasses, because when you're able to see the reality of the circumstances, you know that you have to be, you can't be naive or gullible. You can't be blind or ignorant. You have to be focused on truth and strong and resilient, so that when it does come time to receive whatever it is you're hoping and investing in, that it's what you're truly gonna be worthwhile. And so that's what I'm waiting for, and that's just based on experiences. I feel like it's been my truth, and so I try to be responsible and mature-minded, and be resilient in that I have to receive what is genuinely for me and what I know is genuinely for a good future, and avoid things that are just like that look and sound nice, because that's like kind of like what I was in my addiction, just looking for the easiest solution.
I think that I've never seen this side of you, and I've always seen just this positive, upbeat, and I'm so happy to get to know this side of you because it's very real. But I think I would just have concerns of the outlook, I don't know. I'm in shock.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised too, because you're always very positive, and you say that what you said wasn't negative, but it's sort of like you look at other people as like you don't believe that they really care about you.
Just from experience, I would say, so I think I read a book, and it said, you can have 100 friends, but only 3 of those are your real friends. And that's usually how life is. Everyone will want to, be your friend, or they say that they'll be there for you, and they might a little bit, but the people that will genuinely love and give you love and receive your love, that's supposed to be rare. That's supposed to be a special number of people. And so you get those people rarely, and a lot of the times it's the other relationships that we have are superficial. And that's just out of experience that I've had.
Okay, well,
I think I work with like 25 people, and I'm really close to 2 or 3 of them, but I can still take value out of the other experiences in a good way, even though they may not be as close to me. And I think I would want that for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what do you want to do when you do finally get out of the program?
Work is the priority. So I want to get to working as soon as possible. I wanted to do a trade, especially, but I was applying to a lot of things that I know would give me quick work and employment. And so I'm just kind of shopping around right now. Customer service is usually what I work in, and communications or call center work. But I wanted to be a Boilermaker really badly.
A Boilermaker?
Yeah, they make steam energy engines. And so I think that would be cool. And I think that would give me my brain a mechanical training so that I could have a little bit more insight in things.
Do you have a desire to work in the mental health field?
Maybe, but it's not my passion. But I wouldn't mind it. It would be something I'd feel like I could thrive and I could do well in. But it's not something that I was looking into.
We always talk about plans for how you're going to deal with triggers and stuff. How are you going to deal with the desire to get the 10 without getting the drug that gives you the 10 when you get out and you have total freedom?
What I've been doing it like lately is thought replacement. And so I've been having my thoughts replaced with something else that's a little bit more satisfying or distracting, or sometimes it's a thought that continuously plays over and over again, and that thought distracts me from what I was thinking of before. So I have a lot of thought replacement displacements. And so that's usually what helps. Or I will clear out all my thoughts and I'll meditate, and I will just focus on trying to get rid of any thoughts that are a deterrent or that are instigating. Or I'll have a thought that is just about something that sounds just as intriguing, exciting in the moment to give me some instant gratification. And so it's just about manipulating my thoughts is usually what helps.
What would give you instant gratification like METH did?
In terms of thoughts, usually something about circumstances, like maybe oh, I can go do this right now and that'll make me happy. Or, oh, this person, I remember when they did this and I laugh about it and that makes me happy. Or, oh, what are they doing over there? And I'll just kind of investigate and I'll make a joke about the circumstances. And so I'm using my circumstances to make a play or drama to make me happy out of what's going on. And those thoughts allow me to focus on, making humor out of like what I'm going through. And that allows me to have thought replacement to get that instant gratification.
Huh. I always play a tape and it's like, I don't want to go back to the way I was. And I think about the way I was when I think about drinking again. And that works for me. I guess we all have different ways of dealing with that.
Yeah. I think playing the tape is a really good one.
I just don't want to be where I was,
Yeah.
What is your mother, who wouldn't let you live at the house anymore, what does she think about you being in this program?
She doesn't know I'm in this program.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her since I've been here. She knew I was in the other program, Other Side Academy. And so I went to her house. She thought I was still there. And she was like, why didn't you finish the program? It was one of the few things that she said to me. And so I think she just wants me to be in a safe and content environment. But it's funny, too, because when I'm there, it's kind of like she'll be different people. And so it's she'll just start saying, one thing, and then it gets taken away, and she'll start saying something else. And so our conversations are usually very inconsistent anyways. So that's why I prefer not to be there, so that it just gives her peace, and she doesn't have to be like bouncing around with my problems making her mind jump all over the place. I just want to be fair to her and not causing inconveniences because I see it happen and I feel bad. And so I didn't tell her what I'm doing or what's going on right now because I don't want her to have to be bombarded with unnecessary information because all it does is make her cry over and over. And I don't like making her cry. So I wanted to get my life in order before even doing anything because then it won't be anything to worry and it won't have a lot of ulterior external problems that are, debilitating her, her own mentality because it sucks.
Well, yeah, you agreed to go on this podcast. Don't you think that, is there any way that she will find out that you're on this podcast?
Maybe. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't think it's her niche, but if she did hear it, I think she'd be proud and happy to hear my voice. As long as but then it's feel like we've gone a long journey of a lot of information and a lot of long nights and a lot of long days and a lot of personal information just going over and over again. And sometimes I feel like it's just exhausting. And so she might just be giving me a break right now is what she probably is looking for. That way she can kind of just find the peace in her own circumstances. Because I think she just got married. And so she's just trying to find a happy place. And so I wish that for her.
And your siblings?
My brother, ever since we've both become adults, I don't know him too much. But I used to hang out with my brother all the time the first 3 or 4 years ago. I was always going with him here and there. He's very mellow, very calm. He's an easygoing guy. So if he hears it, he probably wouldn't even have the attention to listen to the whole thing. But if he did, he would just be like, oh, yeah, cool. And then my sister, she just lives in Texas now. And but if she were to hear it, I think she would be happy that I sound good. That's what I think she'd be like.
Does addiction run in your family or not?
Yeah, it does. I think my grandma had some addictions. I think my mom had some addictions. My dad had some addictions. And some of my other families, they had some addictions. And so it does run in my family.
Have you, the whole time you've been at Odyssey, have you thought about leaving you left the Other Side Academy? Have you thought about ever just walking out?
So the only thing that's keeping me from leaving is that I'm almost done. I talked to our director, Michael Wall, yesterday, and he was setting me up to leave by transitioning to the next phase. And so because I have my voucher already, because I mostly did it so that I could have a place to live, there's no real useful reason to leave because I'm at the end of it. So I'm almost done. I guess what really makes me feel stressed is that I don't want to feel like I'm wasting time because the main goal should be to get back in control of my life because my life is important to me. I value my life. And so I'm trying to just get back in control of my life. But if it ever goes to where it's backsliding or it's becoming to where I'm not gaining anything anymore, then that would be when I would leave.
Okay. We're out of time. Thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts and your life.
Absolutely, Randall.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nicole.
Of course.
Yeah. And thank you for watching or listening to another edition of Odyssey House Journals.